How's it going, YouTube? It's Night speaking. I hope you guys are well. Well, this video is going to be some sort of a talk regarding weight gain, guilt, and shame. Hold on, I didn't gain any more weight. I'm actually losing. It's not about me. Well, it's not about me directly. It's about myself and the many other men and women who have, yes, fallen off our horses and gained some weight or more weight in the process. Now, we all been there. We start a regimen, we try our best to slowly change our habits, probably for a week, we cut out soda and drink water instead. And in the next week, we replace things like potato chips with baked potatoes. And the next week, we try to, replace things that are fried, like baked chicken instead of having fried chicken. Or, like next week, instead of having ice cream Sundays, we tend to take sherbet instead. The list goes on and on. That is like how you should say it's a sincere and strong and a good effort in trying to change your habits, slowly and gradually, and it's very noble. So, with that, we take our vitamins, we do our exercises, and we don't just jump on anything and run at the highest speed. We do something that will make us sweat, which will make us tired. But we will gradually amp up the speed, amp up the repetitions, amp up the incline, change up our exercises, etc., etc. We add water. Water is an important key. We add our vitamins. That's also an important key. We incorporate vegetables. That's very important as well. And we try to get as much rest as we possibly can. Yes, once in a while we'll have something that is considered to be the devil's food or the illegal contraband. And that's okay. From this, we start losing weight. First, it's in the form of water weight, or glycogen, I think that's what it's called, or basically water weight in the beginning. And then we basically start losing fat. We notice that our water weight is quicker than our fat loss, of course. In order to lose fat, you have to burn 3,500 calories. Or to gain fat, you have to take in 3,500 calories, and so on and so forth. We notice that we're doing a sincere effort. It's not like we're just drinking Slim Fast 3 times a day and that kind of thing, which is short term. We're doing something that will help us in the long term. But the thing is, even after many months, like me and many other men and women, we notice a significant drop in our fat percentage, and that's great. But what happens when we slip up? No big deal. Try again. That's all you can do. Try again. But then, one slip up turns into 2 slip ups, 3 slip ups turn into 4 slip ups, etc. 1 pound of gain turns into 2, then 3, then 4. We try to tell ourselves, oh, it's just water weight. It's just water weight. In denial, in denial, in denial. 5 pounds goes to 10 pounds. 10 pounds goes to 15. And on and on. And on it goes. And we finally start to notice when our clothes are too tight, or our jeans aren't fitting us the way it should, or when we put our seatbelt on, it doesn't feel right, etc. So, we've gained weight. Whether it be a large amount or a small amount, a gain is a gain. Loss is a loss. Then we start feeling shame. We start feeling guilty. A feeling of guilt overwhelms us, and it drives us crazy to the point that we think to ourselves, God, how could I let this happen? I was so sincere. I wasn't trying a quick weight loss or a quick crash course. I was actually being sincere and trying to change my habits that would last in the long term rather than just go on a diet that won't even last for a couple of weeks. But the guilt is overkilling us, not letting us breathe. We're too afraid to step on the scale. When we step on the scale, we get depressed. When we don't step on the scale, we feel defeated. And I bet 5 people just committed suicide after listening to this. This video wasn't meant to depress you. This video basically was to say that you're not alone. We all feel like that. Hell, I feel like that. I don't feel as much of it as I used to because I know I'm doing the right thing and going in the right track, but I feel it too. All I can say is that you have to be hard on yourself. I have to admit, you have to be firm and tough on yourself. You got to give yourself some tough love, but don't give yourself more than what you need or what you deserve. Okay, one scolding at yourself, that's fine. But after that, that's it. No more scoldings, no more self-hatred. No more self-scoldings, no more self-punishments or whatever. That didn't come out right either. No more self-scoldings, and no more bad words to oneself. No more inner cursings. You knew you did something that you weren't supposed to do. You get that. Crying about it is not, even though it helps you relieve the tensions that you've been bottling up, helps. It helps. But do it once and let it all out of your system. Cry, scream, whatever. But let it out of your system. And do it particularly in the place where nobody can see you. Let it all out of your system. And then after that, go on from there. It's an inevitable fact that we're all going to gain some weight in this journey, or lose some, or gain some. And not just this particular journey, but our whole life. No matter how much we say, oh, I'm never going to gain it all back. I'm going to lose it and keep it all. I said that too at the beginning of this journey. Time proved me wrong. I forgot. I was living life. I had things to do. I have college. I have a kid. I have a mom who gets sick. I have insane bipolar relatives that don't give a shit. I have a crazy ex-husband who stalks me sometimes. I have a crazy ex-fiance that I'd never talked about before. I didn't want to talk about it because it was too personal, but I might get into that later. Mind you know, he's not bothering me anymore. But the point is, we have life to deal with. And these things just get in the way. And no, I'm not gonna fall into the words of Low Carb Corey that he's also a YouTube guru, that you should hate yourself or that you should have some self-disgust or constantly curse yourself out for being fat. No. You should be concerned about yourself, but you can't hate yourself. You just can't. It's not gonna make things any better, and it misses the point. You gotta love yourself regardless. And it's when you start feeling inner peace towards yourself. It's when you start feeling confidence and able to strut, no matter the situation. That is when you truly have won and truly have accomplished. You can't just go through your regimen and your weight loss, fat loss journey saying, oh, I hate myself, I hate myself. It will be so much easier once I'm thin to love myself. That's what I used to do. And it just made things worse. It didn't get better. Once I learned to love myself, and once I learned to respect myself, that's when the journey got relatively easier. No blame, no shame. Okay, you fucked up. We all do. That's what we're all, humans. We're humans, and we're gonna fail. Get off your ass, pick yourself up, and keep going. It's better to catch yourself now than wait 10, 15 years, look back and say, oh, I wish I had done something 10 years ago. Catch yourself now. Catch yourself and say, okay, I made a mistake. The situation is what the situation is. I've got to keep going no matter what I see on the scale. No matter how bad it is, no matter how many times people say you're never going to make it, I've got to keep going. Because at the end of the day, I got to live with myself and die with myself. This video was not meant to depress you. It was not meant to push you down, but rather to lift you up and to tell you how people feel when they feel defeated or when they feel depressed. Sometimes the most realistic things, scratch that, sometimes the most many times the most realistic things are oftentimes the things we don't like to hear. And sometimes we also tend to be our own worst enemies, don't you think? I mean, I've seen so many people on this site whine and cry. I'm not going to mention names, but I'm pretty sure we know who they are. Whine and cry about how their regimen is not working, how whatever they're doing is not working, how they don't seem to be able to stick to a plan is not working, why the number on the scale, or how their clothes are not getting looser. They complain about that and cry about that. But a couple of days later, we see them uploading photos of them getting pizza or ice cream. And I'm thinking, this is all I have to say. But you can't say anything, because if you do, they're going to go crazy and they're going to call you a bully. You can't help them. You try to help them and they're just going to snap at you. And by the time they want to get your help, it'll be too late and you won't be able to do anything. You've got to, for such people, they've got to learn to take responsibility for what they're doing. They've got to learn and understand how complex and how oftentimes difficult this journey can be. That is why so many people give up on this journey. That is why so many people throw in the towel. That is why so many people say, look at the scale or look at the waist tape measure and say, fuck it, I'm going to give up. I'm going to go. I'm here. And there were times, I'm going to be honest, there were very few times where I thought that I think I'm going to fall. But that was like the 20% part in me. But the other 80% was much stronger than that. That's why I have more faith in this time. Because I know there's a stronger force in me saying, Kind of like in a boxing ring where there are two boxers. And they have their supporters on either side of them. That one person who wears the towel, I think it's a trainer. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know much about pugilists. But anyway, when the one boxer gets hit and he falls back onto the wiring, those bars or whatever, the guy on the other side just pushes them back and say, you get back in and continue fighting. They don't let him out of the ring, if it makes sense. That's how I felt on the inside. On the inside, that someone else was forcing me, a force greater than myself. That's how I've been able to stick to it, and that's how I've been able to come back eventually. We all mess up and we all screw up. Try to catch, and even though I can't put a specific number on it, like if you see yourself gain 5 pounds, stop yourself. Or if you see yourself gain 10 pounds, stop yourself. Or that's when you need to change stuff. No, I'm not going to put a number on it. It's different with everybody. But I would like to say try to catch it as quickly as possible, the gain. And not just in the number, but how your clothes fit, how you feel about yourself, how your energy is, how your knees and joints feel. Try to catch it as quickly as you can, because the more you neglect it or put it off, and the more weight you gain, the more harder it's going to be. Try to catch it as quickly as you can, because the more weight you gain, the harder it gets. Sorry to be redundant, repetitive. All you can do is just continue pushing yourself, continue fighting. And remember, this journey was not supposed to be easy. It's not meant to be easy, and oftentimes it isn't fun. And when we see people of those pictures of before and after, we're only seeing the picture. We're not seeing the struggle of people behind the picture. It might look like beautiful and glossy and easy. It might even look easy in a sense. Like they lost their weight through an effortless effort. But that's not the case. They had to struggle just like we're struggling now. We don't see that struggle. All we see is the result. There's more beyond that picture than you think. I mean, I had some people I know personally tell me that who've never really met me before, like if they meet me on, like if they don't really know my backstory, They would say, oh, what do you know about difficulty? What do you know about misery? What do you know about misery? Blah, blah, blah. What do you know about struggle? And this is my face. The stories I could tell, jackass. The stories I could tell. But those aren't the type of people you can tell stories like this because they tend to use it against you. That's just how Indians are. Go figure. But anyhow, this video was basically meant to let you guys know that you're not alone. We all tend to feel guilt and shame when we kind of fall off our horse, so to speak, of our weight loss journey. What I want to say is that don't give up. Don't throw in the towel, no matter what number you see, no matter what size you see. Just get back on it, and don't kill yourself for it. Don't hate yourself for it, because that's not going to change. There's no point. It's not going to attain anything. Don't pull your hair and cry about it, because that's not going to attain anything. There's no point. I remember when I tried to go on diets in the years before, I would scream and I would cry and I would bitch and I would annoy the people around me, and I would be such a whiny brat. I really was. But now I don't do that anymore. I think to myself, if I see something I don't like, I'm like, remember, this is the reason why so many people give up, because they can't take the heat. You're not going to be one of them. You are not going to be one of them. Hey you, I'm talking to you, who's ever watching this video right now. You are not going to be one of those people who give up. You are not going to be one of those people who throw in the towel. You're not going to give up. You're going to get up off your butt. You're going to dust yourself off, and you're going to keep going where you left off. And whatever happened in the past is the past. Forget about it. Learn from your mistakes and go on. You're not going to give up. You're better than that. You're smarter than that. You are worth something. You are worth it. You have talents, you have passions, and you have value. No matter who you are, what gender you are, what religion you are, what orientation you are, you have value. Value yourself and keep on going. Peace.